Now, on the market today, there are a ton of choices to fit the video security needs of your smart home. Whether it's indoor, outdoor, cloud-based, or local streaming, onboard AI, battery-powered, or something else. But today we're going to be taking a look at a camera that can check most of these boxes and is really easy to scale up into a larger system. In today's video, we're going to be taking a deep dive into the new S220 SoloCam from Eufy. This little solar-powered 2K camera can be a great first step into video security or a solid part of a larger system. The best part, no monthly fees are required to use all of these features. So, let's jump right in. Hi everyone, it's Ryan with The Smart House. On this channel, we bring you the latest and greatest in smart home tech. Now you may notice I sound a little rough today. One of my children gave me strep throat, which is wonderful when you need to record videos. But we'll power through it, and I think we've got a great product to talk about today. So today I'm excited to introduce you to one of the newest members of Eufy's line of home security cameras, the S220 SoloCam. Now in September of last year, I reviewed the Eufy Cam 3 with the HomeBase 3 base station / NVR. That system was super capable and has only gotten better with updates. Now the S220 SoloCam is going to look very similar to the Eufy Cam version 3. It shares a lot of the same features, but with a few key differences. So one really important designation to remember with Eufy's cameras. You've got the Eufy Cam series, and those have to be used with the HomeBase. They don't offer any onboard storage. Whereas the SoloCams, as the name suggests, can be used on their own. But not to worry, you can also team this camera up with the HomeBase 3 to increase storage and add a ton of new features. Now once you crack open the box and remove all of the clear stickers, the first thing you're going to notice is the compact and sleek design of the S220 SoloCam. But don't let its size fool you, this camera is a powerhouse of features. Starting with the 2K sensor that gives you a recording resolution up to 2048 by 1080, it also has a 135-degree wide-angle lens to allow you to capture more of the outside of your home. So if we flip the camera to the top, you'll notice that the entire top is almost entirely a solar panel. Eufy says that the solar charging coming from the 0.9-watt solar panel can keep the integrated 6500 milliamp battery full with just 3 hours of sunlight each day. This means you don't have to worry about changing batteries or running power cables. Now they claim about 3 months in between manual charging if you have super cloudy conditions. Now if it's anything like my other Eufy cams, you might have to take this thing down once or twice a year to charge it, especially in the wintertime. Charging with a cable is super easy as well. All you have to do is take the camera down and charge it via the USB-C port on the bottom. Of course, this being an outdoor camera, it needs to have weather resistance. This camera is rated IP67, which means that it's ready to brave the elements, whether it be rain, snow, or dust. Now it does have an operating temperature of 4 degrees Fahrenheit to 122 degrees Fahrenheit. That low end might be a bit of concern for those of us who live in the Midwest or North, but this does have a built-in lithium battery and they hate cold weather. I have noticed with my outdoor cameras that run on batteries, you do get a significant decrease in performance on the battery during the wintertime. The camera also offers excellent nighttime performance with infrared LEDs and an f1.6 aperture. This ensures you can clearly see what's happening around your property, even in the dead of night. Now because this is a battery-powered camera, it will use the built-in PIR motion detector here on the front to detect motion and wake the camera up. One thing to note, unlike the Eufy Cam 3s, the S220 SoloCam does not support local streaming over RTSP. Now it's possible this could be added in a firmware update in the future, but as of right now, it says it's a no-go. Now, the S220 is also equipped with onboard AI for person detection. This means it can intelligently differentiate between humans and other moving objects, reducing false alarms and notifications. You can also customize if you record a clip with any motion or just with a person being detected. Now, as I mentioned before, this camera can be either directly connected to your home's Wi-Fi network in standalone mode, or you can pair it with an existing HomeBase 3. Now, this camera does only support 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi. Some of the newer cameras on the market support 5 gigahertz, but I'm assuming because this is an outdoor camera, you want to have the longer range but lower bandwidth 2.4. Plus, it's more commonly found in your home network. Just keep that in mind, you cannot add it to a 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi network. You also gain access to even more features when you connect it to the HomeBase, like facial recognition, vehicle detection, and pet detection, along with longer recording times. Last but not least, let's talk about the two-way audio feature. This allows you to communicate with guests or potential intruders from the safety of your home or anywhere else.
This is an audio test. The camera is about 6 feet away.
It is equipped with a microphone on the front and a speaker on the bottom. Finally, for those of you who have smart homes, you'll be pleased to know that the S220 SoloCam is compatible with Google Assistant and Alexa. Unfortunately, there's no HomeKit support at this time. Now, if you're finding this video helpful and want to stay up to date on the latest in smart home tech, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps us create more content like this. In addition to reviews, we also do a whole series on smart home tutorials specifically around Home Assistant. All right, let's get this camera set up. Now, setting up the S220 SoloCam is a breeze. Thanks to the wire-free design, you just need to drill 1 or 2 holes and you're good to go. Now, we'll cover the physical install here in just a few minutes. But first, it's always better to get the camera added to your Eufy account and set up on your Wi-Fi. The app actually has a great guide built into it showing you what location to select for the installation outside of your home. So, of course, the first thing you're going to need to do is go ahead and get this thing charged up. Now, this is just traditional USB. It doesn't support anything like PD, so you just use a standard USB charger to charge the camera up. Once the blue light on the front turns off, you'll know it's fully charged and ready to go. Now, of course, to get started, you make sure you have the Eufy app installed and set up on your phone. You'll, of course, need to log into your app or create one if you don't have one already. So we're going to click the plus button, then we can select battery camera. Scroll all the way to the bottom, and you'll see at the bottom the new S220. If you don't see this, you probably need to update your Eufy app. So click on the camera, select the home you want to add it to, and you'll get 2 choices here. Connecting to a router is using your existing Wi-Fi environment if you don't already have a HomeBase. If you do have a HomeBase, I'd recommend using that as your option, which we'll cover here in just a second. So we're gonna click connect to router, and of course you'll need to give it access to see devices around you, which is part of the location settings on Android. All right, go ahead and provide it your Wi-Fi information and click next. Next, it's gonna direct us to press and hold the sync button for 2 seconds. Once that's done, hit next in the app. Then it's going to provide you a QR code for you to scan.
Connecting to the Wi-Fi network.
So you click heard 2 beeps when you're done, and it's gonna search and try to find the camera on your network. Once you hear
Setup was successful,
you're ready to go ahead and step through the installation process. You wanna give it a location or a custom name, and then you're gonna wanna select what type of battery optimization you want. Whether you want this camera to be up as long as possible between recharges, you wanna have longer video clip lengths at the sacrifice of more battery life usage, or you can set customized recording by clicking on the bottom option and then clicking the little pencil icon. This is where you can set up different intervals, so between motion events, how often does it wait until it starts recording again, and how long the clip length is, from 10 seconds to 120 seconds. And you can give it the option to stop recording if motion stops. So for most folks, you probably want to start with the optimal battery life, unless this is an area where you definitely want to catch motion, unless it's in an area where you want to capture recording even after motion has ceased. Then you can select the type of notification that you can receive. You can select most efficient, which will just send you a text notification. You can select full effect, which will send you a text notification and then a picture once the picture has been processed, or you can have it wait to just send you a thumbnail after it's been processed. So again, the app's gonna take you through some mounting tips, which we'll cover here in a second. Some things to note, you wanna make sure you mount the camera between 7 and 10 feet above the ground level. This is optimized for both motion recording and for the HomeBase 3 features. Of course, since this is a solar powered camera, make sure you place it somewhere that's gonna get light for at least 3 hours a day. So no hanging under eaves or under heavy tree cover. So again, it's gonna give you some tips on where to install the camera. And of course, it says don't install around trees because the tree motion may set off the motion recording. Even though you do have it set for detecting humans, it will still start recording, analyze the clip, and see it's not a person, then stop. But that wake up will still burn some battery. They also recommend installing it with about a 15-degree down angle for optimum facial recognition. Now we've got a incoming video. Everything's good to go. I've already updated the firmware, but when it does come out of the box, it'll probably have a firmware update. And there we go, now we have it added. Now, if you do want to add this to a HomeBase 3, you can either add it over your Wi-Fi and then connect it to your HomeBase later on, or you can select the HomeBase 3 option from the menu when you get started, and it will take you through the process much faster. So to physically install this device, all you need to do is take the mount out of the box and remove the back cap. So this just unscrews. You got the back cap with the small shaft, and then you have the ball head. Now for ease of install, you can take the shaft out so you have access to the 2 holes to put the screws into the wall. Now this camera is super lightweight, so you probably only need 1 screw, but it's always a good idea to use 2. And all that hardware is included in the box. So once you affix this to a location of your choosing, now make sure you're using the large slotted holes and not the smaller ones. So once we get the back cap installed, we're gonna place the shaft back in place. Then we'll take the end cap with ball head and go ahead and screw that into the back of our camera. Once that's finger tight, then you can insert the into the back cap. Then you can tighten down the ball head support into the back cap. Once it's tight and finger tight, the camera should be self-supported. Then you can open up the app, bring up the live view, and configure the direction of the camera. There you go, now you've got it installed. Let's take a quick look at the features of the camera in the Eufy Security app, both with and without a HomeBase. So first, let's look at the features in the app with it connected to Wi-Fi only. So of course, you can always press on the play button to bring up a live view. At the bottom right-hand corner, you will see the signal level, how much data throughput you have. You may notice if you're getting stuttering that you might need to reposition the camera somewhere else. At the bottom left, you have an option to start recording a video from the live feed. You can also save a picture by clicking on the scissors. You can click the microphone icon to have a two-way conversation with somebody on the other end. And you can click the speaker icon to enable and disable audio coming through the microphone on the camera. Then if you click on the three lines, it'll bring up a few more options. The first is your history, showing you all the events that have happened on your device. Then the option next to that will enable or disable night vision. The button in between will set off the embedded siren, which is a nice touch. And then you can get quick access to your settings by clicking the cogwheel. So in our settings, on-off switch in the top right-hand corner, which will turn the camera off, meaning the camera will no longer record or respond to motion events. You can reactivate the camera within the app. At the top left-hand corner, you'll see a few icons. The leftmost icon indicates whether or not the camera is receiving charging from the sun. The middle icon, of course, is the battery level, and then the right icon is the signal level of the camera. We've already seen the edge connection where you can go in and tie it into a HomeBase, which we'll do that here in a second. Then under motion detection, this is where you have your motion detection zones and different features. Right now you'll notice we only have access to humans only or all motion. This is because we are in standalone mode, and when we add HomeBase 3, we'll see the extra features that get added on there. You can set the detection sensitivity here in the middle, and then at the top, you can set your activity zones, which are nice if you don't want to receive notifications about motion occurring on a street or a driveway, or if your camera happens to overlook a neighbor's yard. You also have a test mode where it'll let you know if motion is being triggered in your zones, and then another access to your installation tips. You also have access to the dashboard, which is really nice on all of Eufy's solar-powered devices. You can kind of get a trend on whether or not your cameras are receiving enough light. So this is a great opportunity, once you have your cameras out for a few weeks, to go back and see if you're getting enough sun at those locations. Then below that, we have our standard settings. Under video, we can turn on or off the Eufy watermark. We can set our streaming quality, which if it's set to auto, it'll dynamically change depending on how fast of a connection you have. Recording quality, you can set this to either 1080p or 2K, depending on if you want to have higher quality versus more storage. You can also enable or disable auto night vision and set privacy zones, which these are areas like your neighbor's front door that you might want to black out just to respect their privacy. Under audio settings, you can enable or disable the microphone, you can enable or disable audio recording, and you can enable or disable the speaker and set its volume. Notification, we've seen these settings when we first set up the camera, but you can go back in here to change those later on if you want. Then under general, you can change the name. You can turn on and off the status LED on the front, which will indicate if the camera detects motion. You can change your Wi-Fi connectivity here. You can go back in and change your detection settings for power consumption. You can set your time zone and see how much storage you're using on the camera. Again, you can get access to the mounting guide again from here. Now that's it for the standard features in standalone mode being connected just to Wi-Fi. Now, if we were to connect this camera to a HomeBase 3, we would get some additional features. All right, now that we have walked through the application, let me quickly show you how to move your camera to a HomeBase and the extra features you get from there. So moving it is simple. All we have to do is open up the settings and click on Edge Connection, and then we'll click Continue. Then we'll get a note about how any footage that's currently stored on the camera will be inaccessible because it's stored on the camera, and from this point forward, it won't use the onboard storage. It'll actually place it on the HomeBase 3. However, if the Wi-Fi between the HomeBase and the camera gets disconnected, then it will record locally until the connection's restored. So we're gonna select which base and click Next. Now the camera is going to connect to the HomeBase 3's Wi-Fi and be directly connected to it. So be aware that the distance between the camera and the HomeBase may affect whether or not you get good quality. Now get a notification on the camera and the app that the setup was successful. So click Done. And now we can go in and see what extended features we get using the HomeBase 3. So I'll click the three dots here, go into Settings. Now under motion detection, you'll notice a lot more options in here. We now have the ability to do vehicle detection, pet detection, and of course, human recognition, which this is their facial recognition, which is actually pretty good. So if you have multiple Eufy cameras that are connected through your HomeBase, the HomeBase will onboard process faces and let you know, and then it'll send you a specialized notification if a particular person shows up. So again, these features are only available when you pair it to the HomeBase. Plus, you will be utilizing the HomeBase's storage instead of the onboard storage, so you can customize this to as big as what you can fit on the HomeBase. Plus, everything is centralized, just in case the camera gets stolen, you'll have footage off the camera before it's gone. So that's the Eufy Security S220 SoloCam. It's a compact, feature-packed, and easy-to-use security camera that offers excellent value for money. Now this camera is priced at $129.99. Keep in mind, this is a one-time purchase. You don't have to have any monthly fees or hidden cost to use all the features we outlined today. They do offer a cloud subscription for an extra cost per month if you do want to have your videos uploaded to the cloud. But unless you're really concerned about your camera disappearing or you don't want to invest in the HomeBase, then you probably won't need this. Now, when we look at other competitors on the market, the S220 SoloCam really stands out for its affordability, feature set, and ease of setup. While other cameras might have a few of these features, they often come with a monthly fee or require an NVR or a base station. Or you're locked into their environment and their cloud solution. So if you're in the market for a reliable, user-friendly, and cost-effective home security video camera for outdoors, I think the Eufy Security S220 SoloCam is definitely worth considering. The fact that it's solar-powered, runs off of a battery, so you don't have to run any wire to that location, setup is done in minutes, and you have a whole host of extra features when you tie it into the existing Eufy family. Now, if you'd like to pick up one of these cameras, I've got links in the description down below. Of course, if you have any specific questions on this camera or any of the other reviews that I've done, feel free to leave it in the comments or join our Discord server. I try to be active in both of these to answer questions that come in. Now, if you are shopping for cameras, you might want to check out this playlist full of reviews on most of the major brands that are out there. And thank you again for watching. I apologize again for my voice. Hopefully by next week, I'll be back up and running. And please remember to like and subscribe for more tech reviews and tutorials. We'll see you in the next video.